First of all, I want to say I hope my audio quality is actually improved this time. I was able to find this old microphone in my storage room, so things should be louder and more clear. In my first video I mentioned I would be making this video, but I'm a little hesitant to make it for two reasons. One, YouTube cracks down hard on videos like these in order to suppress the truth. Two, I know I'm going to get a lot of backlash from people that would normally agree with me on a lot. Majority of my family members and friends disagree with me on this, and that's okay. Because I know that they are honest actors and they aren't just trying to put me down. I only get upset when I feel the attacks are coming from a disingenuous place. So with that said, let's get into the main points of this video and provide my evidence for the Earth being flat. Evidence 1. There is no evidence for round Earth. Why is it when someone who sounds like they are smart shows you a picture like this, you accept it, but when someone like me shows you a picture like this, you deny it? The answer is very simple. You perceive the people above you to be the authority on everything, including reality. If the government and science tell you the Earth is round, you accept it. If they tell you human beings are monkeys that came from fish, you accept it. And if they tell you to jump, you ask how high. A majority of people are total simpletons who will accept anything that people in power tell them to believe. And if you believe the Earth is round and you don't believe this to be true of you, you may be right. Because the myth of the round Earth is so prevalent, even people with respectability have been forced by society to accept it. If a person like me comes out and tells the truth about the shape of the Earth, and the perceptions of people who have already made up their minds, that invalidates anything I might have to say about anything, even things unrelated to flat Earth like politics. That is why people who are working to change people's minds on the most basic things, like the existence of God, the fact of creation, and the obviousness of conservatism, etc., continue saying the Earth is round to maintain credibility even when they themselves do not actually believe it. All of the photos of round Earth are fake. The curvature of the Earth has never once been observed, and the people who claim to have seen this curvature are liars. Useful idiots for the Church of Satan. One of the reasons polygraphs are not admissible in court is because if they hooked up these astronauts and Mount Everest climbers to it, they wouldn't be able to pass. Evidence 2. Suppression of flat Earth theories. If you look up flat Earth on Google, this is what you'll see. I'm just going to read the names of the websites and say whether it's anti-flat Earth or pro-flat Earth. Flat Earth theory. Why? Flat Earth theory. Quotation marks. Why do some people believe the Earth is flat? Of course, quotation marks are on the word theory, implying that it isn't a real theory. But when creationists put quotation marks around the word theory in the theory of evolution, or when flat earthers put quotation marks around the word theory in the theory of gravity, you hear from atheists that the word theory in science has this meaning where it means it's a fact. Sorry I got a little off track there, but obviously this website is anti-flat Earth. Flat Earth Wikipedia sounds harmless enough until you read the description. Flat Earth model is an archaic conception of Earth's shape as a plane or disk. So we have poisoning of the well fallacy here. They are letting you know straight off the bat that flat Earth is wrong because it's an old idea. While murder being bad is an old idea, does that make it wrong? Once again, anti-flat Earth. Modern flat Earth societies, once again by Wikipedia, so anti-flat Earth. Flat Earthers, what they believe and why, Scientific American. In the description you can see they describe flat Earth as a conspiracy, with the implication that conspiracies are wrong and stupid, and if you believe in them, you are wrong and stupid. Once again, flat Earth. Looking for life on a flat Earth, The New Yorker. I've read this article. Basically it just makes fun of flat earthers and pretends like the discussion being had is a total joke. Anti-flat Earth. I would go on and on about Google, but I would like to cover other topics as well. The point is, if you look up flat Earth on Google, you won't find a single pro-flat Earth website. In order to get my information, I use DuckDuckGo. DuckDuckGo doesn't blacklist websites like Google does, and it orders in terms of popularity, unlike Google. Now, I'm going to take a quick look on YouTube and show what pops up when you look up flat Earth. First thing we get is a Wikipedia article up at the top. If you remember from before, this is the website that says flat Earth is wrong because it's an old idea. Then we get a video from The Guardian making fun of flat Earth. Flat Earth rising, meet the people casting aside 2,500 years of science. Well, first of all, you have to love the phrasing of that. Flat Earthers are anti-science. So much for unbiased journalism. And secondly, that statement is not true. We are not casting aside 2,500 years of science. We are casting aside 500 years of fake science, perpetuated by the satanic government and its followers. Next, we got flat Earth versus round Earth. As if this phony idea that the Earth is round is equal to the fact that the Earth is flat. Give me a break. And in the description here, you can see it says the ancient Greeks concluded Earth was a sphere, which has been validated by science ever since. So now, all of a sudden, if it's an old idea, it gives it validity. You gotta love the cognitive dissonance. The Greeks didn't believe in irrational numbers and believed that pedophilia was perfectly acceptable. I'll be making a video about pedophilia becoming mainstream in the future, so subscribe to make sure you see that video right when it comes out. Next, man launches himself in a self-made rocket to prove flat Earth theory. Now obviously this video is once again making fun of the idea that anyone could believe the Earth is flat, and actually wanting to show definitive proof is absurd. It shouldn't be attempted. And lastly, inside a flat Earth convention, where nearly everyone believes Earth isn't round. But notice how we haven't seen a single video like Eric Dubay's 200 proofs the Earth is not a spinning ball. Oh no, you can't show that. People with an open mind might be swayed to believe something that they have deemed to be ridiculous. Better suppress that video. Speaking of Eric Dubay, I really recommend this channel, and this video in particular. The link to the video will be in the description. If you do decide to watch his video, you'll notice once again the Wikipedia article up at the top, reminding you that flat Earth is ridiculous. Evidence 3. Bible alludes to flat Earth. In my last video, I established that the Bible is the Word of God. I may make a separate video in the future going into further detail on that claim, but for now I'm just going to read off flat Earth Bible quotes, some of which I've already read in my first video. I'll let you make your own minds up. And I'll be reading these from a website called BibleStudyTools.com. Link will be in the description. First Chronicles, chapter 16, verse 30. Tremble before him, all the earth. The world is firmly established. It cannot be moved. 1 Samuel, chapter 2, verse 8. He raises the poor from the dust and lifts the needy from the ash heap. He sets them with princes and has them inherit a throne of honor. For the foundations of the earth are the Lord's. On them he has set the world. Isaiah chapter 11, verse 12. He will raise a banner for the nations and gather the exiles of Israel. He will assemble the scattered people of Judah from the four quarters of the earth. Isaiah chapter 40, verse 22. He sits enthroned above the circle of the earth, and its people are like grasshoppers. He stretches out the heavens like a canopy, and spreads them out like a tent to live in. He spreads out the northern skies over the empty space. He suspends the earth over nothing. Job chapter 26, verse 10. He marks out the horizon on the face of the waters for a boundary between light and darkness. Job chapter 28, verse 24. For he views the end of the earth and sees everything under the heavens. Job chapter 37, verse 3. He unleashes his lightning beneath the whole heaven and sends it to the ends of the earth. Job chapter 37, verse 18. Can you join him in spreading out the skies? Hard as a mirror of cast bronze. Matthew chapter 4, verse 8. Again the devil took him to a very high mountain and showed him all the kingdoms of the world and their splendor. Proverbs chapter 8, verse 27. I was there when he set the heavens in place, when he marked out the horizon on the face of the deep. Psalms chapter 75, verse 3. When the earth and all its people quake, it is I who hold its pillars firm. Psalms chapter 93, verse 1. The Lord reigns. He is robed in majesty, not robbed. The Lord is robed in majesty and armed with strength. Indeed, the world is established, firm and secure. Psalms chapter 104, verse 5. He sets the earth on its foundations. It can never be moved. Revelation chapter 7, verse 1. After this I saw four angels standing at the four corners of the earth, holding back the four winds of the earth to prevent any wind from blowing on the land or on the sea or any tree. Now you could argue that any one of those on their own is a figure of speech or an allegory, but to say all of them are, I think would be a little ridiculous. Evidence 4. Satanism and science. Let's talk a bit about the scientists that push the idea that the earth is flat. Dr. Joseph Mengele Infamous Nazi scientist performed evil experiments on the Jewish people. Robert Oppenheimer. This man is directly responsible for the creation of the nuclear bomb, and indirectly responsible for the deaths of over 200,000 innocent lives in Japan, and subsequently the Cold War, which nearly ended in the most destructive war the planet would ever see. Our old friend Charles Darwin makes a reappearance in this video. Who knows how many souls this man has turned away from God. Alfred Nobel. This guy's major accomplishment was he helped develop nitroglycerin, and later patented what he called dynamite. Dynamite and nitroglycerin killed dozens in accidental explosions before the government began using it for military purposes to kill millions. His nickname became the Merchant of Death. I'll be leaving an article about this guy's amazing life in the description. And I saved this man for last for a very specific reason. This man is the source of all this round earth nonsense. Isaac Newton. Now, I know a lot of round earthers in the comment section of this video are going to say that's not true. What about the Greeks? My response to them is this. Before Isaac Newton released his theory of gravity, the round earthers didn't have a leg to stand on. He was able to rationalize how a person could be at the bottom of a globe and not fall off, in the same way that Darwin rationalized how human beings were monkeys. Not to mention, this scumbag, known as Isaac Newton, invented calculus at the same time as Gottfried Wilhelm Leibniz, but made sure he was given no credit whatsoever. I will leave a link to the details on that in the description. Basically, they invented it, calculus at the same time, but Isaac Newton stole all the credit. Evidence 5. Science proves flat Earth. One of the main tenets of the scientific method is observation. I would like to ask anyone that is seriously on the fence, have you ever seen the curvature of the Earth? Or when you go from one location to another, do you not find it to be exceedingly flat? Now, you might mention something about different time zones, and I have two things to say about that. 1. Different time zones could work with a flat Earth. And 2. You are seriously going to trust the idiots that have us changing our clocks twice a year for no apparent reason? Now, I'm not going to say different time zones don't exist, but just take a look at this. Does this not at least invite some questions? Does this make any sense with a round Earth? All the sheep out there will continue to believe this makes sense, I'm sure. If they tell you it's 6 o'clock in the middle of the day, you accept it. If they tell you the Earth is round, you say yes, sir. If they tell you to jump, you ask how high. And also, I think it's worth mentioning, none of the photos showing the round Earth are real. Now, you might say, well, that's your opinion, but that's not true. NASA openly admits that all the photos of space are photoshopped. In this article, you can see them bragging about it. I will leave a link to this article in the description. It's really astonishing how blatant these people are. And I think I'm going to end this video here. I know not everyone's going to agree with me on this one. In fact, I know quite a lot of people will disagree. But I'm not the kind of person that's going to hold my back on what I believe just to keep friends. That's not the kind of person I am. But I hope you enjoyed this video at any rate. And I hope you'll stick around and subscribe. And I also like to thank anybody that stuck around to the end of the video. I really appreciate it.